Is the water still too cold? I used to be a server at a locally owned stir-fry restaurant. It was an okay place to work. Everything was really relaxed. Like I saw the back and wouldn't eat there myself, sort of relaxed. It was also really shady. We used to joke it was ran by the Chinese mafia for various reasons. I also worked with a few lifers. Now if you have served you know these women. And for those of you that haven't, a lifer is someone who has been a server their entire life. Usually they have even been serving at the same place for decades. Some are nice and great to work with. But most of the time, they are really horrible, crabby, just unhappy people. They have their way of doing things and want everyone to do it exactly the same. If they do not like you, they will make your life hell. And if you stick it out, they will usually try to manipulate the managers into firing you. Usually the managers know what's going on and just put you on different shifts. But anyway, I had one woman at this place that was always on my case about every little detail. I got along amazingly well with the rest of the staff and they usually stood up for me when she tried her BS. But one day it was just me, her and one other server, who was new. My shift was ending so I did my side work, including changing the water buckets that held the rags we used to wipe tables. And then sat to roll silver. When I hear it, yeah, I know too. The water in the serving station is cold. I know it wasn't since I had just changed it out. But I get up and change it again, not wanting to argue. It's still cold. Change it right. So I get up, go over, make sure the water from the tap is nice and hot, fill the bucket and go back to my rolling. Yeah, I know too. The water is still cold. Change it right or I will have manager write you up. Quote, cue malicious compliance. The water that we brew coffee in gets well over 200 degrees. But she wants the water hot. So I go up and fill the bucket directly out of the big industrial coffee brewer. I set it down and go back to my rolling, after giving warning to the new girl to give the water time to cool. About 2 minutes later I hear a scream. Miss Lifer had plunged her whole hand into the water. Now she didn't get super burned, but she got one hell of a scalding and her hand was a lovely shade of pink. Even the manager, who knew what was going on, told her, well, you said it wasn't hot enough. She brought her BF in the next few days to eyeball me and play this stupid intimidation game that ended up with him getting physically threatening with me and her getting fired. The last thing the owners needed to have around was the cops after all. The best part is I had gotten a job at a retail place not long after as a manager. Guess who was still looking for work and dropped off her application? The look on her face when I came out of my office to personally accept it. Priceless. What kind of idiot put their hand into a container with steam coming out? Let me put this in the circular file. Interesting. At the place I worked as a server, there were no servers who were lifers. Kitchen staff were lifers. But the turnover rate for the servers was incredible. In my 1 year there, halfway through that year made me an oldie. There were a couple servers who came back, one of whom acted a bit similarly to what you describe. Thinking face, I never would have considered her a lifer, though. Interesting to see how things worked at another place. This is filled out in black ink. We require all applications to be filled out in blue ink. Resubmit it in blue ink. Also, your resume looks to be Times New Roman font. We require Arial 10 PT in our resumes. Wouldn't eat there myself. Good. It's rude to eat someone's self. To accept it? You're like a modern-day Beowulf. A hero for the ages.
If you enjoyed this video, Please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.